I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the big exciting elements of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker has all to do with the return of Emperor Palpatine and the fact that Ian McDiarmid is portraying the character once more at the very end of the Skywalker saga by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one aspect about Episode 9 that a lot of people are very interested in is, of course, the interactions between both Rey, Kylo, and Palpatine, and exactly what that's going to look like visually on the big screen, right? A lot of fans are really looking forward to this, since we haven't seen Palpatine in the flesh on the big screen since 2005, over 10 years ago. So it's been quite a while since we've seen Palpatine in a Star Wars movie, and the fact that he is now back is honestly very surreal, and at the same exact time, very exciting as well. Now, with that being said, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Rey and Ben Solo are said to be in a confrontation against Darth Sidious, where Palpatine is said to be giving them a lecture about the Skywalker bloodline and about the dark side of the Force. It's explained that this is where Palpatine uses the Force conduit technique to drain the energy from both Rey and Kylo Ren, causing them to become very weak, where Palpatine begins to transform into a more youthful state and appearance. It's explained that this is where the major battle between both Rey and Sidious is actually said to happen, between both Kylo Ren as well, where it begins to the point where Kylo is said to use Leia's lightsaber, where Rey is using Anakin's against Palpatine, where it's said to use multiple streaks of Force lightning to the point where it eventually leads to a sequence in which Ben Solo is said to fall down a bottomless pit after getting force pushed by Palpatine. Now, Rey is now said to be left alone with Palpatine, where he begins to drain Rey's energy more by using the Force conduit technique once again. With the now weakened Rey, she begins to hear Anakin Skywalker's Force ghost, who offers her energy from the netherworld of the Force, as well as Luke, Leia, Yoda, Kenobi, and other Jedi that are currently unnamed, all becoming a part of Rey, where Luke says, "1,000 generations live in you now." The Force ghosts are said to be a part of Rey's spirit now, where she is said to pick up Leia and Anakin's lightsabers as Palpatine shoots more Force lightning at Rey, where she blocks it by using the Skywalker sabers in a cross style, where the Force lightning is said to turn red by Palpatine. This is where Rey is said to revert the lightning back at Palpatine, which is said to reverse the rejuvenated appearance of Palpatine, where Sidious eventually is said to disintegrate from the red lightning hitting his body, where this is where the rest of Palpatine's throne is said to explode into multiple pieces, with Palpatine nowhere to be found. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why I really do believe that there's going to be a handful of fans who are either going to really despise this way that Palpatine does and are actually going to really love the way that Palpatine does. It really seems like a love-hate sequence for the death of Palpatine and exactly who kills him. So, in my point of view, I just want to say this right off the bat here, that I really feel that it should be Kylo Ren in Rey's position. I don't know why, but I just feel that Kylo Ren is more important because he's connected to the Skywalker bloodline, and that to me would have made more sense. Yes, I know that Rey is actually said to be the granddaughter of Darth Sidious himself, and that she probably wants to rid of any connection to him, and that could make sense to a certain extent, but at the very least, I think at the very minimum, Disney could have had Ben Solo and Rey working together at this point in time, destroying Sidious once and for all. Now, the other piece that I do want to go over is the literal death of Palpatine in comparison to how his supposed death was supposed to be in, of course, Return of the Jedi. Now, in Return of the Jedi, there was an original draft of the script where Palpatine would be thrown into lava by Darth Vader surrounding Palpatine's old throne, where he would actually be disintegrated into nothing, where in this scenario, it's somewhat similar, where you have Rey reverting the red Force lightning back at Palpatine, where it's hitting his entire body, where this type of Force lightning is said to be so powerful to the point where Rey is able to revert back at him, to the point where it disintegrates him, First, basically, he loses the rejuvenated appearance where he becomes old and frail again, and then he begins to disintegrate. So, I don't know why, but I'm kind of thinking about Avengers Infinity War, or should I say Avengers Endgame here, where, you know, you have the death of Thanos. I'm not quite sure how I really feel about that. I'm not quite sure, visually speaking, how it's going to look like of him disintegrating, or if it means like he just explodes. We're not quite sure. But other than that, the throne itself is said to explode into multiple different pieces due to the red force lightning being reverted back to Palpatine himself. It almost reminds me of JJ redoing what Mace Windu did against Palpatine, just kind of upping the amount of force lightning and the type of force lightning that's being used against Sidious in this particular scene. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.